Back in the 1940s, you could find this printed in the farm almanacs and the garden columns of the Sunday paper. A plain bottle from the kitchen shelf, about $2, and one careful drop put down on a weed at just the right hour of the day. By supper time, that weed was cooked. Then the patented weed sprays came along after the war, and by the time I was a young man, that little trick had vanished from every catalog and every garden page in the country. Now, what nobody understood at the time was that it didn't disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared because nobody can patent the bottle of white vinegar sitting in your pantry, and there is no repeat sale in a $2 fix. A man only needs a few drops of each summer. My old neighbor Earl never gave it up, and I never once saw a dandelion survive a full day in his yard. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how he did it, step by step, nice and slow. And stay with me to the end, because the old fellas would only do this at one particular hour on one particular kind of day, and the reason why comes down to one specific thing the sun does to that vinegar. That one thing is the whole difference between a weed that's gone for good and a weed that's back in 2 weeks. I'm Garry Strickland. I'm 63 years old. I spent my working life as a carpenter, and for better than 30 years, I've kept the same quarter acre in the same Midwest neighborhood. Most of what I know came from my old neighbor Earl, a World War II veteran who had the thickest lawn on the street and nothing in his shed but a rotary mower and a coffee can of grass seed. These days, mine is the lawn folks slow down for. Now, pull up a chair and let me tell you something. Walk into any big hardware store in May and you'll find a whole wall of weed killers. Sprays, granules, hose end bottles, the works. Most of them run somewhere between $20 and $40, and the label quietly tells you to come back and do it all again next season. That's not an accident, neighbor. That is the business model. A weed that dies forever is a customer they lose forever. And here's the part that bothers me. Plenty of folks spray that whole wall of chemicals across the whole yard, kids and dogs and tomato patch and all, to kill maybe 24 actual weeds. Earl used to shake his head at that. He'd say you don't burn the house down to get rid of one spider. You treat the weed, not the yard. And for that job, the old fellas reached for the same bottle their wives used on the pickles. Plain white vinegar, 5%, the kind that costs about $2 at the grocery store today. One bottle will handle every weed on a quarter acre for 2 or 3 summers. That's the kind of math the catalog stopped doing for you. In a minute, I'll show you the whole method with my own hands, and I'll come back to that business about the sun, because the hour you do this is the part everybody gets wrong. Now, everything I'm showing you today has its own place in a little book I put together called The Old Ways, 50 Forgotten Lawn Secrets from America's Greatest Groundskeepers. It's 104 pages, written plain, of the 50 small, cheap, patient tricks that Earl and the old groundskeepers around town taught me over 30 years. I wrote every one of them down before the men who taught me are all gone. There's a whole part on common sense weed control without the harsh stuff, which is exactly where today's vinegar trick lives, along with the soil secrets, the watering and mowing the way the old groundskeepers did. The book is $17 right now, marked down from $47. One jug of the name brand weed spray costs more than twice that $17, and you'll be buying that jug again every single year. This is $17, one time for 50 of these. Now go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. All right, my friend, let's get you set up because this whole job takes about 10 minutes and most of what you need is already in your kitchen. First, the vinegar itself. You want plain distilled white vinegar from the grocery store, the kind that says 5% acidity on the label. That is 5%, the ordinary pickle and cleaning bottle. Nothing fancier. Now, some garden catalogs will try to sell you a horticultural vinegar that runs 20 or even 30%. Leave that stuff on the shelf. That strong vinegar can burn your skin and hurt your eyes, and for this method, you flat out do not need it. The old fellas killed weeds for 50 years with the kitchen bottle, and so will you. Second, you need something to place a single drop with. An eyedropper from the medicine cabinet is perfect. So is a turkey baster if you've got a steady hand, and if you have neither, Earl's tool was a plain drinking straw. You dip the straw in the vinegar, you put your finger over the top, and it holds a few drops right there in the bottom until you let them go. Third, pour about half a cup of vinegar into a small cup or a jar lid so you're not carrying the whole bottle around the yard. And fourth, you need the right kind of day. But hold that thought about the weather, because that is the piece I promised you at the start, and I promise the why is worth the wait. Now, which weeds are we hunting? This method shines on the broadleaf weeds, the ones that sit flat in your lawn like a little green pancake. Dandelions, of course, broadleaf plantain, that's the one with the wide ribbed leaves like a rubber spoon. Chickweed, and those creeping patches of clover. Young weeds, the ones that showed up in the last few weeks, will die outright from a single visit. A big old dandelion with a taproot like a carrot is tougher, and I'll be straight with you about that in a few minutes, because the honest answer is exactly why this method works forever when the sprays don't. Here is the method itself, and I'm going to go slow, one thing at a time. Walk out to your first weed, kneel down, and look at the very center of it. Right in the middle, where all the leaves come out of one point, there's a little knot of new growth. The old fellas called that the crown. That crown is the weed's engine room. Every new leaf it will ever make comes out of that one spot. Now load your dropper or your straw. Hold it about an inch above that crown. For a small weed, let one drop fall dead center. That's one drop, right on the crown, not on the leaves and not on the grass around it. For a big dandelion, give it 3 or 4 drops, still right in the center. Then stand up and walk to the next weed. That's the whole job. Don't splash, don't pour, don't get in a hurry. Take your time. There is no rush at all. And one more thing that matters. Once you've made your rounds, don't water the lawn for 24 hours. That is 24 hours, a full day and night, so the vinegar can do its work before any water washes it off the crown. Now, I can hear somebody asking, Gary, why fool with drops when I could put vinegar in a spray bottle and be done in 5 minutes? I'm glad you asked, because this is where most folks ruin a good lawn with a good idea. Vinegar cannot tell a weed from a blade of grass. It burns whatever green thing it lands on, period. A fella 3 doors down from me tried the spray bottle version a few summers back, out there misting his whole front yard on a breezy afternoon. Inside a week, that lawn looked like a green tablecloth somebody had scattered brown polka dots across. Every place the mist drifted dead grass. The weeds, mind you, mostly grew back. His grass didn't. Think about that for a second. The drop method is slower by maybe 10 minutes, and in exchange, your grass never takes a single hit. Restraint beats brute force, neighbor. Treat the problem, not the yard. That's the difference between the old groundskeepers and the wall of bottles at the store. So, what happens after your drops go down? On the right kind of day, and we're almost to what the right kind of day means, that weed will be wilted and sulking by supper. By the next morning, it's browning. Within 2 or 3 days, a young weed is a crisp little skeleton you can brush away with your shoe. Then, about 1 week later, take a walk and check your work. On the small stuff, you'll find nothing but a gap the grass is already closing. On a big old dandelion, you might find a little green trying to push back up from the center. don't be discouraged, because this is the part the spray companies would rather you never heard. Every time you burn the top off that weed, the taproot has to spend its stored up savings pushing out new leaves. Give it one more drop on that new growth, and maybe one more a couple weeks after that, and the root spends itself down to nothing and dies in the ground. That is how gone forever actually happens. Not magic, just an old man with a straw being more patient than a weed. And no, I'm not making that up. Earl ran his quarter-acre this way for decades, and his lawn was the thickest on the street. Which brings us, my friend, to the part I promised you at the very start, the hour and the day. Why did the old fellas watch the sky before they'd touch that vinegar bottle? Here it is, plain as I can make it. The store sprays are poisons that travel down inside the plant to kill the root. Vinegar doesn't work that way at all. Vinegar is an acid, and what that acid does is strip the waxy coating right off the weed's leaves and crown. Every plant in your yard wears that wax like a raincoat. It's what holds the plant's water in. The vinegar takes the raincoat off, and then the sun does the killing. On a hot, bright day, that weed is pumping water up through its leaves as fast as it can. Strip the wax at high noon with 6 or 7 hours of strong sun still ahead, and the sun pulls the water straight out of the plant and cooks it dry before evening. But do the very same thing on a cool, cloudy day, and nothing much happens. The weed isn't losing water, it quietly seals itself back up, and in a week, it's fine. That right there is why half the folks who try vinegar swear by it, and the other half swear it's junk. Same bottle, different sky. So here is your rule, and I'll say it twice because it decides everything. High noon, full sunshine, 70 degrees or better. High noon, full sunshine, 70 degrees or better. Earl used to step out on his porch, look straight up, and if his shadow was short and sharp, out came the straw. The vinegar takes the armor off, the sun does the rest. And that right there is exactly the kind of thing the old fellas taught me. The book has 49 more just like it, laid out just as plain. The old ways is $17, down from $47, and it's 104 pages of the cheap, patient tricks that keep my quarter acre thick and green without the wall of bottles. One season of store spray costs more than this book ever will, and the book you only buy once. Before those tricks are forgotten for good, I'd be proud to have them sitting on your shelf. Now, go ahead and grab your phone and open up your camera, the same one you use to take pictures. Point it at that square code on your screen and hold it steady for a second. A little link will pop up, give it a tap, and it will take you straight to the book. And if you are watching on your phone right now, the link is waiting for you right down below in the description. Take your time. There is no rush at all. I'll wait right here. So one more time, nice and simple. 1 drop on the crown, high noon, full sun, 70 degrees or better, and check your work in a week. Now, tell me something down in the comments. Did your dad or your grandpa have a lawn trick of his own? Put it in the comments below. That's exactly the kind of knowledge that gets lost when nobody writes it down, and I read every single one. Next time, I'm going to show you why the old groundskeepers set their mowers at one particular height and how that single number on your mower deck kills more weeds over a summer than any bottle in the store ever will. Keep that lawn thick and green, my friend, and I'll see you over the fence.